Welcome to the stream, and hopefully you're having a beautiful day. It's nice to have you here, and for some reason we have ENDS logos on the right, left side, but it's okay. It's what it is. It's the production. So, we are going to be hopping into the match of Johnny Speeds and TSM. So this is EPL Division 2, and you wouldn't actually believe that it's Division 2 because you're looking at these teams, and they definitely look Division 1 worthy. So we are going to be hopping into the first map. Was the first match of the day and the last one as well, because this is going to be the finals. I was checking the numbers out of these teams, and TSM has been doing a little bit better lately, and it's kind of nice to see the resurgence as they're getting better and better as a squad. And just looking at the numbers, holy moly, the maps that are being chosen at the moment, because it's going to be Mirage, Inferno, and Nuke. TSM with a 44% on Mirage, 80% on Inferno, and 50% on Nuke. That seems like it's doable at the moment. But the problem is they did go against Johnny Speeds a little bit earlier on. And Johnny Speeds, as a team, it's in that spot where you'd actually think that this team could actually level up another tier in about a second. They have been very consistent. The numbers that they have been risen, especially with the maps played, is just insane at the moment. And there is a little bit of a hiccup here, as Johnny Speeds, on the last, I think it's like 7 games that they have had, they only lost 1 against Meti Sports. I did check that game out. Meanwhile, the head-to-heads against TSM is 3 wins for TSM, 2 wins for Johnny Speeds. But the last time they won was on European Pro League on that best of 3. They did win their maps 13-11, 13-11, and after that losing 1 map for TSM on Inferno. That was the first map, losing Inferno 13-8. So there is a little bit of a chance, depending on how the videos is gonna go, what they're gonna do with this, especially looking at the maps on the pool at the moment. Mirage is supposed to be a Johnny Speeds pick. Inferno is going to be that TSM play, but Nuke, that's gonna be up in the air. It was a contested map the last time, and we did see TSM against Enterprise on that map, and they were looking very good. So now the question is, are we gonna see something changing here? As TSM has finally found their Danish lineup, the second Danish lineup. They have that LCS. Very nice peek out of Bob XD to just drop into that B site. It's that first kill quite calmly. Meanwhile, Spook and Drake, they do bring it back. That's going to be Drake and Rolf actually just wreak havoc on A side. Meanwhile, Valde left us the sole player, only with a kill. Or actually, he doesn't have any. It was his teammate to get that kill. And here we are, just a simple fake. And after that, many issues for TSM. But this is just a pistol. Johnny Speeds up for grabs on his rounds. I'm just looking at the maps at the moment for TSM. Mirage is a 44% map for them. 18 games being played. That's 8 wins and 10 losses. 18-5 victory against Priestley. The worst loss was against Paravision, 7-13. And these get wrecked over there. It's a 50-50 on their rounds. And the last time they went against Into the Breach, which was their own map pick, that was the 16-14. So there is definitely a chance here. They did lose against Johnny Speeds the last time they were on this map, 13-11. So it was a very close game. We're not talking about many points over there, even against Medisport, 16-12. So that's another very close game after an overtime. Amazing to see it. Johnny Speeds has started off the map with a bang. Zyphon on his corner. This is just going to be a full B-side stack from those USBs. And the bomb will be held into that A pit. Idea is to a couple of the players maybe to try to probe where the players could be playing from. And try to go for the plays according to that. Finally, some movement being seen on the T side. And this is just a very slow gameplay from Johnny Speeds. They might be thinking about that B side stack at the moment, but it seems like they're just going to go for the full A side execution. The calls coming out, the 50-50 gamble. Okay, Johnny Speeds. Maybe after looking at a couple of demos out of TSM, knowing the intendencies, how they want to play these pistol rounds. Anyways, against USBs, it's usually just a little bit of an easier round in a way. That's the utility being used. Is the pop flash with a couple of smokes. Nobody's inside those smokes. Of course, Johnny. Let's get a very easy bomb plant over here. There we go. This is a very standard round with the bomb being planted without a point of damage being taken anywhere. That's the first death. Zyphon take out. Second place is okay. He's just stacking these players at the moment. But this is just them saving these weapons. Try not to go down with that bomb. Just an 8k there. That's gotta be a full lineup of Galils. There we go. So, this is the round that we have been waiting for. M4s across the table. Just looking at the buy out of Johnny Speeds. It's still those Galils, and to be honest, they are formidable weapons, especially if they lose around here. Enough money to go for a new buy, no problems at all. This is how they want to play it. Pop flash being used. Maybe the drop smoke smell well. Ultics already taken one. He just goes down. Not any contestation. Meanwhile, Drake gets that one trip, but it's got to be Zyphon to come out with the next. Here we go. Who's better on paper? Johnny Speeds. But team versus team, I'd say it's very 50-50 at the moment. But the last time they did go against each other, they did win 2-1. And the time before that, TSM won. So, one of those things, you know. That's gotta be the first launch coming in out of Zyphon. Gets the kill on the Drake. Roll from Spooky. Everybody's just getting their kills, but it's gotta be Spooky to shut it down with a triple. There it is. 3-0. Looking good. And for them to even save a couple of weapons, looking at TSM's economy at the moment, they have to go for something, and this is exactly how you want to start that T side. To money lock them as quickly as you can. And from there on out, start spanking that CT side. You know you have the money lock working for you. Early kills coming out. That's going to be A-Coach just to go down. The problem is, we're heading into round number 5, or we are in it already. We're not going to see any signs of an op coming out soon. And that's the problem. Johnny Speeds, they could actually run with some of the... Sorry, this is round number 4. My brain's just skipped around. This is Johnny Speeds just taking a control early on. And slowly we're getting into that side again for the execution. Early functionality is not going to go well, but it's going to be Valde to hold down the line. Are they going to check this? But the first offense goes for the swing. Okay, he gets the 1-to-1 trade, but the problem is Zazi. Should have been a double for him to make this round a dual possibility, especially with the players pushing onto the side. That's going to be a nice catch for Nico. Could drop one of the players, but Shazi is rated so well performing at the moment, especially with those kills. Just drops the player from the door, gets everybody else. That's going to be him. Absolutely demolishing that B side, and you have to think about the fact that that was a buy coming out of TSM. Of course, they're going to go for a new one, especially with a couple of kills out of those MP9s. Some of these players are going to play well, especially with the loss bonus, so it's okay. But we're starting to get into that point where we kind of have to see something out of TSM to believe. It's not over here. It's very early on. There's always a form that we have to be discussing about. You go close to the mid box. That's going to be the name to open up the smoke. Valde already dropping Spooky. That's going to be a very good practice for the boys. Spotting one in between the smokes. Does a lot of damage, but Bob XD comes out victorious. Meanwhile, Zyphon just specking the possibilities into window. Making sure that nobody's holding. Around push. Just a simple flash to try to take out a peek. That's going to be Rolf with Zazi. Holding down Valde with 14 HP. Very close to a player. This is insane. The second that that smoke starts to peel off Valde, either he's going to get a kill or he's just going to get one tap to the face. And this is insane. Oh, the crosshair in front of his eyes. Just an easy shot, Valde. Not even a chance for a round like this. Another kill for Johnny Speeds, Valde. That's just unfortunate. You can't really blame the man from that for that. XD is very low on HP. There is a possibility for the players to bring it back to a 3 versus 3, but no. Drake has other ideas. Drops Zyphon. That's going to be Altex with the kill on the Bob XD. And Acor comes out with another one. A 2 versus 2 that's being converted without the bomb on the other side of the map. And they have to kind of go for a decision here. Zazi just goes for the push towards that ramp. I think it's on the shadow. Catches Acor. Oh god, he goes for the pop shot for some reason. And leaves Altex in 1 versus 1. And that AK just comes superior again. That's going to be Shazi. With some very good kills on this round again. A name to focus on. And Mirage. Well, it's really not working out for TSM at the moment. That's a missed shot. Trying to go for some kind of a pop shot there. And it just doesn't quite, well, do nothing at that point. Gets traded almost instantly after firing that first bullet. You can see the impact on that economy. Off we go. It's going to be Altex. XT using just a simple flash to get into that site. Really snaps down. Well, from the back of the side. Comes up with a double. Okay, but already Bob XD. Getting behind the lines with skins in space here. It's going to be Bob XD with a jumping kill onto Acor, but Valde gets that one-to-one trade very early on. Meanwhile, front across, Drake hits a very good shot on Valde. Goes for the second one, tags the player. But it's a 2 versus 2. This is actually still doable, especially with the push coming out as iPhone spotting both of the players in the side. That entire group, it's Spooky. Knows where the player is. He knows. He's ready for it. Drake controls the situation, and JS. They keep stacking these numbers on top of each other, and this is just getting harder and harder by the round. TSM. At this point, we have almost seen everything, and it's still not working. Oh boy. And this is where we really need to start to see an impact. This is another buy out of TSM. Going for the full rifles. To the point that we actually can see an op here. Acor 1-6 at this point, and to be honest, from a couple of situations that we have been picking, it's been a little bit unfortunate, but a couple of mistakes has been made throughout the team. Seems like they are going to set up an A-side push. Till it's being used. Block that connector. Zyphon is just going to play it aggressively. That's a good move. Trying to gain as much control. The problem so far has been giving these T's a lot of space to play with. The smoke plays coming out of the Dane. Utility being used towards the window, and this is going to be the players getting a little bit closer towards that A-side finally. First kill coming out of Nico to drop down Bob XD. Something that works for the CTs, but there's still a push coming out. And they are spearheading this from Connector, Pit, and the apps. It's gonna be Spooko to drop down Siphon underneath the balcony. Nico comes up with the second one. And that's gonna be the spray out of Ticket. To at least get a kill. Acor steps in with a shot as well, and Drake left in an almost impossible situation. Actually attacks the player through the Ticket. But the time runs out. And that's finally TSM locking in a round. Saving even 3 weapons for our next one so they can actually go for the buy again, but they really need to keep this up. And off we go. Kill from Xiphon at the start of the round. This is what worked the last time. He used to try to gain the control, but the B hit. This has been something that's been going so well for the Sunshine. This is a very good kill on the A4. Behind his side, Altex. It's the trade on to Shazi. Meanwhile, ready for the player on the swing. That's gonna be rolled. Just ready for that angle. But Xiphon comes with the kill on the Bob XD. These trades are just going left and right. And again, 2 versus 2. But the problem is, as long as the CTs keep this up, this is gonna play against them. They need to start to win rounds in a more cleaner fashion. Good shot coming out of the apps. It's gonna be Drake. Gonna go for a kill here. Meanwhile, Valde uses that timing to drop down Drake. And looking at TSM, already putting the second round on the table. I love CS. Me too, brother. Me too. Now the question is how long they actually keep this up. And off we go for more. It will be TSM finally finding some kind of a form that is working on Mirage. Again, a B-side push. This is just going to be the same play again and again and again. But this time around, Altex is ready from behind his side. That's a crossfire coming out that works out very well. Nico coming out with a kill as well. Xiphon steps into the action, and finally, TSM. They lock down a round without giving them a chance. But that has been Johnny Speeds with 6 rounds on the table already. Winning half of the rounds necessary. Kind of the half in a way. There's still some rounds to be played for. Especially if Draken doesn't clutch this. Just look at that. That's going to be the first one to drop down Valde. Draken doesn't have a lot of HP to play around with. But with that magic stick, he could do a lot of work. If it's just quick enough, that's going to be Acor to try to step into that fight. Next one shows a little bit too much skin. Acor locks the player down. That is the 3rd kill out of this match so far. That's 3 rounds on a board for TSM. Meanwhile, Johnny Speeds, there's 3 rounds to play for the Swedish squad. If they could actually make this a 9, that could be just insane. Meanwhile, TSM, they could pull it back and maybe contest it on the T side. They did have a similar T side percentage that they had on the CT side as well, so seems like they have a trick or 2 for this map. Meanwhile, it's gonna be the early Molotov they used. Good way to push down the players to get a little bit more control out of that platform. It's going to be Bob as the first one on the line. The players. That AK comes out with a kill. Doesn't quite get the spray on the second one. Oh, gets stacked down on that jump. Just quite doesn't work out for him. But Valde finds the kill on the Rolf, trying to use that commotion to his advantage to maybe get into that A side. Meanwhile, the rest of the players trying to figure out what to do with that bomb. Johnny. Well, Spooky getting a bit closer from the window. There's space to play around it. Zyphon finally starting to understand that it's been open maybe for a little bit too long. Trying to go for a peek here. Spooky spotting one of the players. Doesn't even have a chance to go for the swing. Just the face plastered fully of bullets. Couple of shots. Even finds one more on the Jazzy. And that's going to be Draken left alone. From the ladder room. The only thing he has to do is economical damage if he could do it. Money isn't great on the side of TSM. A couple of kills. He backed it. That's the first one. The problem is that's a quick trade out of Nico. And off we go. And it's starting to look a little bit better for the CTs. Another buy out of Johnny Speeds. And finally, we're getting that tactical timeout. Really need to start to talk about what could be the play. How do they want to actually do this? Looking at some of these rounds already. Go. So that's gonna be them. First player being spotted, Rolf. On top of that, a little spot there. Comes showing his feet. He's not gonna go down, taking a little bit damage still. Early fights for Altix to get that damage in. Looking very good. Meanwhile, the rest of the players need that mid control, and from here on, they can actually go for a couple of different setups, especially with a player inside the window. If they, for example, go for the B-side bash right now, it's gonna be a 1-3 fight over there with a player left into a lurk, which is a lot of space. Bobby is gonna go for the fight against Nico. Oh my god, what a kill coming out of the man. The Swedes just absolutely dominates that duel. Meanwhile, Altix inside of the pit. The only thing he has to do is win that 1-to-1 fight, and they have a lot of space for that cross. Already the player's getting a little bit closer. That needs to be the smoke peeling off in about a second. Utility has been used for the backside. A player pushing in. Nobody's checking Siphon. He comes out with a double kill from that spot. How don't they check it? Altix wins the fight into the pit. That's going to be Siphon again with a triple. And Spooky. Whatever happened before, beautiful positioning coming out of Johnny Speeds, but it just quite isn't enough. It will be Zyphon just coming out clutch in that side. Looking insane. The second he got that whiff out of that push, knowing that pit is under control, Zyphon just dominates that play. That's rough. But at least they tried. So, an amazing start from Johnny Speeds. for TSM. In the brink of a round to actually bring it back to a tie. These early rounds has been working for TSM so well so far. Zyphon with middle control. The player being spotted in the middle. Spooky has been pushed away. That's gotta be Zyphon with that kill. On to Balde. A very good one-to-one trade. That's gonna be Balde with the first one. He's ready for the swing out of that hit, but he loses his life. That's Nico. A kill on to Spook. A 4 versus 2. The only thing you have to do is take this slowly. Akar from the cross just drops down Drake, and oh, the man is starting to wake up. This is what Johnny Speeds has been afraid of. The whole team starting to fire on all cylinders. I have to say, a couple of the players we have to highlight at the moment is Zyphon, especially on most of these situations, playing it so dynamically in middle. Just very amazing on that cross there. Meanwhile, Nico giving us a couple of good rounds as well. Zyphon 14-9. 1100 damage as well. That's gonna be Spooky with 12, but Zyphon has been much more active on some of these situations. Just been dynamic. That's amazing to see. Let's see how long they actually keep this up. Somebody's hoping for Nuke. To be honest, I wouldn't hate the idea for this to go for a turn map. There is still Inferno coming up after TSM giving us a show like this on that comeback. 6 rounds for Johnny Speed, 6 rounds for TSM. Very fair split in between. It's gotta be Inferno. Johnny Speeds knows how to play it too. Let's look at some of the stats here. JS. Inferno stats looking like it's one of the worst maps that they have, but the problem with that is that you always have to have a worse map in a way. Actually, the worst map is Vertigo as they don't play it, but Inferno is a 53, almost a 54% its map. And they have played it a lot of times too, so 15 times in the past. It's not bad at all. 13-3 victory against Inferno. But they did lose against TSM. Nico, the early kill on Stray. That's a quick trade across the map from Spooka to drop down Zyphon, Acorn, and Valde come up with a kill at the same time. That's going to be a player into the sandbag. Oh, of course, it's not going to work out. Sorry, Sandwich. Zazie gets the drop on the Valde, but he leaves Pop XD alone. And the rest of TSM is just ready for that smoke swing to come out. And look at that. I think that was a Deagle being picked up. No, I was wrong. Just in USB. My eyesight is getting worse. Awesome round. That's gonna be the scout bot by Draken. Basically no damage done at the start. Spooky. The first contact towards that pit. A Deagle can be a very scary weapon here. This is the players getting ready. Molly to clear out the window. Shazi will respect it. No plays coming from the outer side of it. That's going to be smoke for the connector pass. A smoke for window. If they want to go for the B-side play, this utility usually marks that. You can actually go for even an A-side play, definitely when you have a player inside the pit. And Johnny Speeds, they're not going to bait into this one. So TSM on the brink of actually walking into a stack with the first round being won. This could be the worst way to actually get back to it, but Zyphon at the perfect time. He drops down Spooka. Look at Nico's spot, already spawning down Shazi. Oh, he's not going to enjoy his life. A similar push that we actually saw from the pistol round. And TSM, they have an answer for everything. Window ready for the push. Anybody who wants to go for whatever style of play, TSM, they already have an idea for it. And I have to say, this is Danish CS. Every single team out of that region is just looking insane at the moment. I did want to start off the day with talking about Johnny Speeds, as they could actually level up in a couple of days. Maybe hop into a different level. TSM might be actually joining them. The more that I've been watching this team, the better they're looking. There are some couple of hiccups on some rounds here or there. We have seen some pistol rounds that they have given away. So as long as they actually get a lock into those. But TSM definitely not doing a bad job. If JS wins this map, I'll be very surprised. Well, I wouldn't. It's very early on, just a couple of rounds on the T side. Maybe after we see the weaponry coming out at Johnny Speeds, that's where it gets interesting. If you win that first gun round, everything is on the table at that point. If you lose the first gun round, depending how, that's where it gets a little bit questionable. This is going to be a hold from both sides. Nobody's going to go for the quick attempt. No aggression. Both of the teams just probing. Trying to get some kind of a touch into this round. Idea is just to play a couple of seconds off to see if there's going to be any plays coming out of Johnny Speeds. Meanwhile, TSM, they're actually playing this very well at the moment. Johnny Speeds, they're going for a B-side setup here with barely any information. This is just TSM holding their ground, not doing anything. And they might be walking into these crosshairs at the moment. That's going to be the smokes used again. A couple of the sets used. They had a B-side full hold after pushing down the underground, spotting that nobody's holding anywhere else. They know this is going to be an A-side hit. A very good catch out of break and drop one of the players. Oh, he just misses the second shot onto the player on the pit. But this is where it gets interesting. The Deagle coming out alive, drops Altex. That's going to be the bomb trying to get planted down. Bob XD gets the kill. A surprise coming out of the site. This is starting to go tits up for the side of TSM, but Valde comes out with a second kill to keep the hope alive. The only thing they have to do is try to get that bomb down. That's going to be Siphon. Going to hold down his teammate. Challenging CT at the same time. Doing a little bit of damage. Grabs that AK. Doesn't grab the headshot. Valde literally on 6 HP. And this is exactly what I was talking about. These rounds, they get so chaotic for TSM. And that's Rolf locking it down. Johnny Speeds, they catch the round. 7 on the board. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Until we see that first gun round go tits up, everything is on the table. This is exactly the types of problems we were talking about out of TSM. Against weaponry, they're okay. The problem is when it gets a little bit questionable, it gets a little bit puzzly against those pistols. That's where the panic seeps in. And sometimes you just want to have a very, very, very simplistic way of playing out a round. When you start to go for all these rotations, these slow plays, utility here, utility there, that just gives so much time for the pistols to get into a better position. And you know that their weakness is that against a rifle, they're not supposed to have that much of a chance. Of course, this is CS. A pistol is almost a laser gun. Johnson finding one of the kills at the start. Rolf takes down the player inside the connector. And a beautiful nade. Actually, I thought that was a nade out of TSM. Valde gets bamboozled by his own nade out of his team. Drake drops down the likes of Acor. This could be already a round that's being brought back into a tie. A smoke for the cross. Before the smoke blooms, Nico goes for the swing. That's going to be Draco with the kill. Here we go. TSM. This is not over for any of the teams. The only thing is that TSM just got smacked in a way. Finally feeling like they had this under their control. And they second that they started to feel it, well, Johnny Speeds took control of that wheel. I have to say, looking very good on a couple of these rounds. Early push. Seems to be the push directly into the B side. That one molly will be pushing the players out. It's the first kill. One of the Glocks been dropped. This could be the Deagle coming out with a kill if he's not careful at the moment. Nice shot out of Bob XD. Controls the situation. This is very one-sided at the moment. A-core, 16 point. That's gonna be Nico with 38. Well, scrap that. Seeing the graveyard. Again, Bob XD making sure that nobody's hiding inside those smokes. And for TSM to win this round would be an absolute miracle. Nice control out of that AK. Shazi from short just shuts it down. And that's a round lead for Johnny Speeds. We are going to be hopping into round 18 right now. And this is where it starts to get interesting. This is where we're going to be... This is where we're going to be seeing a buy out of TSM, especially after a timeout. Talking about a couple of things that's been happening before. This is where TSM could actually throw a brick into the cog. If they win a round like this, it doesn't quite destroy the economy out of Johnny Speeds, not actually even close, but they might figure out something that works. Looking at the money, Johnny Speeds, they could actually go for a couple of round buys here, so for the next one as well. We're just hopping into this one. A bit of a barrier being made out of the boys in Speeds. Still early at the start. Nice catch from middle A-core. Aggression at the start just works out perfectly. That's going to be a high flash, even an 8 for middle push, sorry. Middle peaks coming out. They know there's a player inside the ladder room. A-core going for a swap of that weapon. Maybe that's an AK opting. I'm not entirely sure. Bob XD uses it for an advantage. It gets traded immediately. Shazi gets the kill from the site. But this is a man advantage coming out of TSM, but Valde sneaking into that spot, knowing there's a player just ready for it. And this is just a bit too much for the boy. Nico, from short, the only thing he has to do is wait for Altix to activate. And getting a little bit closer, spotted. Low on HP, oh, he's getting drilled out of this spot. What is Shazi doing? Oh god, some of these shots are just not hitting. He's playing so much time out of that clock. And Nico finding the kill underneath the underground. And on low HP, Shazi, it's gonna be a miracle if he gets even onto the site. And gets the headshot from that corner. Oh my god, Johnny Speeds, they actually clutched around. Shazi! That's definitely not supposed to happen. What a shot from the boy. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Nico had every right to win that round. I think that was 22 HP. Just a single bullet out of that AK was enough. If he tries to go for an instant defuse, just drill him through the box. But for him to go for that just insane peek. One tap, well, it was a couple of taps. Well, one of them, a headshot into the connector. Nico, lights out. No need to come back. That's the 10th round for Johnny Speeds, but boy, it's not being clean. Again, entry kills coming out of the side of TSM. Players being just absolutely being mowed down inside the barrel at the moment. Just look at that. That's going to be roll for the kill. Spook actually gets 1-2, but it is a tied situation. The bomb will be planted. And Zyphon extends the lead with 1. Alert coming in from the backlines. Johnny Speeds' individual skill, it needs to prevail right now, because this could be another situation where TSM still could actually bounce back. Especially with some of these executions. They've been so clean so far. The problem is the after plans. That's the problem so far. 20 seconds. And the push coming out of the apps in about a second. That's going to be the first line of contact. Okay. Knowing there's a problem. Quick trade out of the ticket. I think that's a round done. 8 seconds left. Spooky will be booking it. Even if he had the kits, the problem is he's not going to get the kills. Here we go. Oh, that's a tough spot to be at. A buy still coming out. Looking at the last bonus, it's going to equalize in a way, so Johnny Speeds could actually go for some kind of a buy for our next round if they lose this one and every single weapon. And then the question is, how do they want to stick into that economy? Drake and first shot onto A court to start off the round. That's a good duel. Op to op. Usually on the T side, you hate to see it. TSM, I was actually about to talk about the fact that one of these rare teams at this level, they could actually convert rounds after losing the first player. So, even a 4 versus 5 is still on the board. What the hell is that? This is the round just stagnating a little bit. Seems like TSM going for the talks. 50 seconds left on the table. That's going to be flashes and utilities being used. Spooky knows what kind of a spot is going to be. What kind of a push is about to be happening. That's going to be Bob XD. Inside a hidden spot. Nice flick. A shot to the face. That was a nice dink at the start. Bob XD with a kill onto Nico. Altex gets only one. That's going to be Trankin to shut down Baldo. Altex makes this at least expensive. He needs to get a little bit more. The problem is the slow sidestep for the site into Rolf's M4 is not going to work out. Johnny Speeds on their 11th round. Looking at the economy out of TSM, it's really not good at the moment. A good time out to talk about the fact that do they want to give the map point for Johnny Speeds? Again, TSM coming so close. Only if they didn't have that start, that 0 to 6 start. This definitely could have been a map for TSM. Go. Quick plays for the con. Nice kill from Window. Even the second one out just at the wheel at the moment. They're doing such a good job to open up the ground. It's gonna be Rolf and Spooky. Rolf comes out with the second one. Spot the player on top. Auto Tetris. Oh, the crosshair is just a little bit off. And that's Nico. Oh, the timeout music is still on, even with the graphic screen. Hopefully we get this into a full screen to focus on the round. Nico. It's a very good kill to bring it back into that 1 versus 2, but the bomb is just holding down. Bobexy is making a lot of noise. Nico shoots. This one goes for the swing, a bullet to the brain. TSM, they bring it to a 10. Johnny. Oh, the money is not looking good if they lose this round. They still have enough for a buy, even if they actually want to go for a glass gun and op. We're seeing some worrying signs even from this chat. What a round for TSM. Team Solo mid. When they started with this project, it was a little bit questionable for maybe tier 1. They're not still well ready yet, but looking at the core of this team, there's a lot of potential till there. I'd want to say that I'd like to see this project grow. The same exact goes for Johnny Speeds. Doesn't matter what's happening on this map at the moment. It's insane to actually think about the fact that this is Division 2. Early picks coming out. Zyphon catches one of the players in that A site. Aggressive. Meanwhile, a nice catch for Zati on top of the Tetris to get that one to one. The problem is Zyphon's angle is just superior at the moment. Even going to shoot the smoke towards the jungle. Gets the third one. Oh, this boy is out of control. Altex drops the likes out of Spooky. And this is just tough to look at the moment. Draken, you have to go ballistic with the op. Oh, this is just very sucky for the CTs at this point. TSM bringing it back to a tie. 11-11 TSM on the brink of even destroying their money. Will you be casting any other events in the future, excluding EPL? To be honest, I've had a couple offers here and there. I'm not in liberty of talking about them yet, but maybe in the future, hopefully. I love casting, especially when it's games like these. This is just sick. What a trickier competition. I do understand what you mean. Some of these rounds. Well, this is why we love CS GL23. This is exactly why you're supposed to be happy. Of course, if you're betting, that's a different story, but this is why I fell in love with the game. Whatever can happen whenever. Even with Glocks, you can sometimes just win a round. This is exactly why we love this game. This isn't like League of Legends or Valorant or stuff like that. This is actual skill at the moment on the table. Keep this up. This is what we want. A full thrust, a charge coming out of B side. Oh boy, this is just gonna be bad, especially. Oh, he does a lot of damage to the start of the bomb. I missed that jumping Mac. It's going to be a hard opponent to go against. Shot coming out of Draken to drop at least a player from the side. That's going to be Acor to be dropped, but Valde has a very good spot, especially from a player. Oh, he leaves that corner. Spooky gets through towards the pillar. Jazzy will be the man to push in from B out. Spotting one of the players in the site. That's going to be rolled for the kill from the smoke. Valde has to be careful now. Zossi is getting a little bit too close. Turns around at the worst possible timing. Valde focusing on way too many things at the time. Zyphon is still here. Catches the second player. Drake knows that it's done. There's nothing for him left. Gets that last kill. Gets warned by that nade. TSM. They take the map point out of Johnny Speed's hands. The T side is looking insane. Now the question is, are we gonna see an overtime, or are we hopping into Inferno? Last time we saw TSM play on Inferno, they were on fire. Now the question is, can they actually keep it up? Or is there a possibility even for a nuke? Gonna be another B-side. Oh, this has to be some big balls to call out for a push like this. It's at the Molotov, but at this point it doesn't matter. Pop flash is being used. Even that nade is not gonna stop the push. That's a lot of damage for the kill coming out of smoke. Short. This is gonna be the way to go with the Acor, shutting down one of the players. Altix coming with a kill onto Bob XT, and I have to say, TSM, have they made a lot of work on their Mirage to look like this? 12 on the board, on the brink of actually bringing it to a 13. Johnny Speeds. 2 versus 4 retake. A couple of the players a little bit low on TSM, but as long as they play it smart, there's not supposed to be that much of a chance of boost even. On the backside of that side, Zyphon goes down. They got the information. It doesn't matter. Shot coming out of that op to shut it down for Rolf. And it's going to be the last one as well. That's gonna be TSM grabbing the victory out of Johnny Speed's hand, looking so good at their portion on the CT side, but then it just went tits up and it just quite didn't work out, and I'm not entirely sure what happened there. But TSM on their T side executions coming up with entry kills again and again and again. Just quick plays, insane ways to get onto those sides, and I have to say, they're starting to look very clean. Now the question is, can they keep it up on Inferno? Johnny Speed with one chance to bring this to Nuke, and we're going to be hopping onto that decision in about a second. So we will see the rest of you on Inferno. Let's take a little break. What's up and welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you're not too sad about for the upcoming events, as TSM already locking the first round down and looking very good here on their own map pick, as they're going to be hopping into this game. So, in this map, sorry. So, this is where it gets interesting. Johnny Speeds, they kind of have to win this game, this map, to bring it to a third one. Meanwhile, TSM, they just need to continue. That's going to be the early duels being won, and TSM coming out victorious to gain that A-side control. Whereas the Johnny Speed squad, they know they have to go for a retake here. Even at a man disadvantage with the bomb down, they need to come up with functioning duels to try to win this situations. Nice catch out of Spooky. Wins out that first fight against Valde. Is ready for that hold. Meanwhile, rest of the squad, they're just burning time. That's gonna be 20 seconds left on the clock. No hits. You have to think about the facts. There's no hits. That's the problem. First player dropped, the second one into the pit. Acor comes up with one. And even if they didn't have the kits, it didn't even need to come to that. The players shut it down quickly. TSM with the first round on the board. Now the question is, can they start as Johnny Speeds did on their map pick to try to chain as many rounds together as they can, or could the boys in yellow and blue turn this around right now? Looking at the buy, that's gonna be Draken with a scout. We did see a round like this out of Mirage, which kind of turned the tables for a little while. Nice catch at the start. Acor taking a bullet there. That's gonna be one of the players hit, but B-side execution seems to be the way. Spook, eh? Spook is ready with that deagle. Rest of the players on TSM ready to go for the full execution. That's not going to be a lot of utility out of Johnny Speeds, even if it's going to be a full assist. That makes it perfect. And oh, to open up that smoke, Acor comes up the hill. Meanwhile, Spooky catches one. That's going to be Spooky with the second one, actually. But some of these kills are coming back. Draken trying to do his best through that smoke to make this happen. Altix make sure that that corner gets drilled. Couple of players lost, but by now it looks like this round is defaulting for DSM. Meanwhile, for Johnny Speeds, this is a tough pill to swallow, as they did get a couple of kills with Spook. At this point, it feels like it went to nothing. Doesn't really do much. Armor and that weapon icon. It's not even gonna spec the player. It doesn't get the kill. That's a little bit of a problem, especially with the players getting out of that site. Altex reacts on the both of the last players there. Gets the quad. That's gonna be the AK picked up. And even if it goes down, TSM, they lock it down. And looking at that buy, Johnny Speeds, if they want to go into this one, in my opinion, they should save every single penny. But that's gonna be Spooky with a deagle again and a flash. The problem is they have to do something with this. If they don't, that's that extra money, that extra bit of money that they can actually use on the utility for the next round. That's going to be spent. And it's going to be a boost of 2,900 for the next round. Catch and start. Well, this might be the reason you want to go for the deagle, but the problem is Nico coming out with a double. And this is where the Danes are doing a good job at the moment. Even with losing a player at the end of the day, with the weaponry that they have, it's not the end of the day. They can just swap it out. That smoke clears out the full hole. Draken will be pushed away from that spot. Gets damaged just a bit. Rolls being spotted from the cross. Nico with a beautiful map 10 shot. Nice spot Draken. Oh, that's a quad already. Could he actually hunt down for the 5? Full ace. Rolf left as a sole player. And Valde will be the first one in line to just shut him down. A bullet to the brain and it's done. TSM. Finally heading into a full buy round. This is where it gets interesting. this is a final, so I need to just remind people out for that. There's no dropping into the lower bracket. There's no other chances. This is it right now. Either TSM takes this or Johnny Speeds. Looking at the full stack up coming into that smoke. Getting a one shot on of them already. That's going to be rolled for the double, but they do bring it back with a couple of their own kills. But Drake from long shots it down. Double kills coming out of him. And the op is alive. Johnny Speeds, they even saved 3 weapons for our next round, which is going to do wonders for them. You can see how that impacts the economy. A full buy coming out. Meanwhile, TSM, with 3 rounds in a row, they can buy easily. The T side, they control still for their economy. Now the question is, how do they want to go for this? Attempted that A side execution. This time around, it didn't work. It seemed like most of the players were way too focused on pushing, maybe leaving a couple players holding down the light, because you know there's always going to be that one extra swing coming out of the CTs, so you can use that to convert some of the kills. Apps control. TSM, they have a lot of space here. Johnny Speeds, they're not going to contest any of it. Not even the CT portion of that middle. Just the full stack towards the side. One player will be rotated towards that B side. Spooky. Holding B with Bobek still. Looking at the full play from TSM. They're going to be smoking everything. That's going to be the smoke for the cross. Spooky on the other side of it. Even if he's boosted at the moment, he's not going to see over that. That's going to be the pop flash for his teammate to go through. And he's still going to be staying on top of the platform just to hold it down. That's the flash. Both of the players jumping in. Bot, the spray's coming out. Spooky comes down with one. That's going to be Bob with you. But through the smoke, getting on the other side of this one, it's starting to look so good for him. But he gets caught off. A 2 versus 3. They could actually go for the bomb plant right now, but the problem is there's nothing in between that CT cross. Nico comes up with one. Chauncey from that angle actually funds both of the players. What a shot! What a kill, and I think that was a drilled shot into the second one as well. Not a bad way to lock it down. Johnny Speeds. They do handle that round, and I have to say, the swing into action after the smoke landing on top of the flower pot. For them to understand the protocols working very well for the Swedes. That worked out well, I like that. The question is, can they keep it up? As when it gets a little bit excessive. And here we go. That's the first line of spray. Doing a bit of damage. And this could be a very good situation to ask if there's anybody on the side of TSM. Are there any fans for Johnny Speeds? Be one of those situations, especially with a couple of those shots. Locke actually finding a kill. It's going to be Acor to drop down the likes of Drake. That's going to be Zazie to get the kill onto Altex. He's trying to find his spots here. Defending. Along very well. Meanwhile, the rest of the play is getting a little bit staggered. That's going to be Bob XD to shut it down at least at the end. Here we go. First line of the bullet. Be used just to break that window. A couple of shots through the smoke. Spooky. Oh, he's getting just mild on at the moment. Full banana control for Johnny Speeds. The only thing they have to do is just play. This is the way they want to do it. Now, TSM is playing this very passively at the moment. They're not really contesting for anything except middle control, but Johnny Speeds is going to give it to them. There might be a swing coming in. Spotting one of the players. Good angle for Zyphon to drop down Drake. I think that was the op duel, and it just went tits up. And a lot of utility will be used in the middle, especially with the noise being made. They know that's going to be a single player into that B side. Utility will be used to cover up that molly and a full swing on action. That's going to be BobXD with the first kill. BobXD gets eliminated almost instantly after that first kill. That's going to be Acor with one more on the table. And the need to open up the smoke shots. He needs to do something, but the problem is the only thing he amounts to is just a little bit of damage. Rolf left alone across the map, so far away from the action. It's done. That's just a bit unfortunate. A very good round for TSM. Thank you.
Terrorists win.
And off we go for round number 8. A lead again for TSM. Starting to look a little bit better. So yeah, I did ask this before. I think we had some kind of a restriction on the channel. I took it off now. So, are there anybody? Is there anybody in the chat rooting for TSM? Anybody in the chat rooting for Johnny Speeds? Let's take a little bit of a temperature check to understand what kind of a game do we have on our hands. First lineup, the utility will be used. BobXD just gets absolutely mowed into that corner. Defense finally starting to fall off. That's going to be Spook with Drake. Couple of players finding the respectable kills. A beautiful nade onto the players. Acor and Nico, very low on HP. That's going to be Johnny Speeds with one of the best looking rounds in a while, especially with the defensive nades. That just destroys the full push out of TSM. I'm not entirely sure with a minute 10 left on the clock. Should they actually go for the full save here? No. I think this is going to be the explosion for A side. This is Johnny Speeds going to go for the information play. That might not be the best idea. First peek on top of the balcony. If they could actually clear this one out. Nope. Not ready for it. At least the trade is there. Acor still low in HP. That's got to be Altex. He needs to do a lot of heavy lifting. But if he could get a kill, that's going to be the 2 versus 2 back on the board. Acor left with 20 HP on top of the balcony. He should be ready to drop off. That's going to be the molly to push the players a little bit closer into short. Spotting one of the players. That's going to be Saucy with the quick reactions to drop down the low HP. That's the one-on-one trade. Altex with a player pushing in from the balcony. Oh, he's not going to be ready for this one. Drake and zooms in the scope. Gets that kill. TSM, they give a round for Johnny Speeds. I have to say that early banana utility usage, even if they lose BobXD very early on, it's going to be the utility workout very well for JS. Getting themselves into a spot where TSM barely can even move on to that side. That's a questionable situation. When that utility falls in, do you actually just move on? Or how do you want to do it, especially after getting that first kill? The issue is Banana is very clusterphobic for the T side on this version of Inferno. So a couple on nades with the mollies can really, just really block the full push out of the T side. And if you decide to go for the, just stick it and go for it, you might lose a lot of HP at that point. shot will be missing again. But doesn't really matter. Draken has a little bit of a corner inside that smoke. Meanwhile, TSM. Seems like boys are just gaining a bit more control here from the middle and the apps. They could actually go for a split if they want to. On the jump. Draken will be missing that shot, but the second one will be a connection. Nico maybe gets a little bit too comfortable with that shot here. Draken trying to take care of the pass. Oh, that's a nice flick out of Draken. Gets the second kill onto Valde. But it's going to be Altex with the trade. But Bob XD coming alive. Acor, at least he gets the trade. But the problem is there's Rolf inside of that pit. A player pushing in from middle. And long being covered by Draken. So whatever move he's going to go for, there's always a crosshair. In him. On him. Through the smoke. This could be the play. To bring this to 1 versus 2. Maybe cut these players in half. That's got to be the short hold. So the second he activates for Draken push, Acor has a bit of a problem. I'm not sure if it's being spotted. No. Some of these players still specking the wrong side of the side. Spotted down Spooka. That's a kill onto him. The push coming out of Draken if he actually fails this. No. Draken, he hits that shot. Makes it a triple. 5 rounds on a board on a CT side. Johnny Speeds, they're definitely looking a lot more comfortable in this map on the CT side than Mirage. That's a tough pill to swallow. Now, or are they gonna go around it? It's gonna be the nade for second. None of the players are gonna take a hit from it. Now the question is 4 rounds enough for the CT side? Of course, there's rounds to be played for here for TSM. But if it gets to that... Ooh. For a second there, it looked like Siphon had a very good idea where to put that crosshair. Chassis. Mows down 3 players to defend middle. TSM. The power from Nico. He's been, in the past, very good with the deagle. This time around, not hitting a shot. So it's going to be that half buy. Not really working out for anything. TSM. It's been a little bit quiet here on the T side after those couple of rounds being won. That's just 1 round in between on the gun rounds. And this is usually the problem in the map picks. Usually at this level. Almost every team knows how to play these maps already. There might be 1 map that they're banning. But as long as you have 6 maps on the pool that you can play decently. Even well. That's where it gets a little bit questionable. Good Molotov. That's a lot of damage for the CT side already. Nico grabs a little bit as well, but to start it off like this, even from that cross of the smoke. Oh, Nico steps into that wrong spot. Has the right idea to go for the second kill as well. Altex could be the one to grab the kill onto Chassis. Maybe steps into that duel just a bit wrong. That's gonna be Rolf. Oh, the nade. The Molotov too. Altex barely alive. That Molotov is gonna be huge. But a fight in towards... that's gonna actually be a nice kill in towards the arch. Draken gets dropped. That's gonna be Spookhead to drop one of the players pushing into the CT spawn. But Altex takes care of Spook. And nobody holding B side. And just look at this. The rotation's coming in. That's gonna be Xiphon on a very deep lurk. But neither of the players are going to be stepping in front of him. So this is just gonna be a full banana push. Altex, without a lot of HP to play around, left alone, but it seems like Johnny Speeds, they're just going to default this round. They're not going to go for more. Giving TSM their 5th. Johnny Speeds, looking at the economy, they just don't have that much money. They have to save for the last round on this first half. And this is a banging job of a round for TSM, but so far it's only 2 rounds against buys. So now the question is, could they take more? 6 on the board on your own map pick makes it a hell of a lot of comfortable. Hell of a lot more comfortable than giving them the lead and the potential to win that pistol round. You know when they have it. Oh, sorry. Hopefully the microphone is in a little bit of a better spot at the moment. The second they get it, that's where it gets a little bit interesting in a way. Maybe something for Valve to think about in the future. Should they do something for the pistol rounds entirely? Or to the economy? For it not to impact this much. Bob XT with a beautiful nade onto Nico. That's gonna be spooky as well. Both of the players using the utility to max. Look at this. This time around, Zyphon, he has the right idea. I think that was Altex the last time, to be honest. So, the aggression coming out of the Danish superstar. Very good. A push through the smoke. This is going to be an aggressive play out of Johnny Speeds. If they time this correctly. Oh, this is going to be a tough one, but no. Bob XD is not going to go for the plays. Impossible. Alright. Spooky. Out of CT spawn will be rotating towards the A site. 1-to-1 trade with Siphon, a little bit low HP. Has to be a little bit careful. Altex will be the second man in line to push out a boiler. Draken just waiting for the timed shot. Hits the shot onto Altex. That's a full HP member being dropped. Spooky comes up with the second one. The fight's getting just a little bit too crazy at the moment. But from the short, that's got to be the full swing into it. And on that cross, Rolf takes care of one of the players. Draken still alive. Just playing this so well. The last bullet out of that deagle hits the torso. And that's Johnny Speeds grabbing their 7th round to hop into the second half. Oh boy. Team Falcons actually bringing Vertigo back. Jesus. We're seeing some insane CS today. Virtus Pro on the brink of losing that first map pick. It's Falcons pick, to be honest, so not the end of the world. Meanwhile, looking at our game, Johnny Speed's already losing their map pick. TSM on their own. They do have 5 rounds in the table, but if, for example, they grab the pistols, very quickly this could be converted into a 7-7. With the first gun round hitting the table. And as we have seen Johnny Speed's buying on most of these rounds, there might be even more on the table. A lot to be seen. There we go. So, 7 seconds here on the first round's freeze time. Just checking out what we're about to see. It will be Altex. Hopping on top of the apps with a dually setup. Okay. Apps control with dualies, not that bad. Rolf leading the 4-man army just a bit closer towards the middle. They actually catch the first player. That's gotta be A-core. At the first bullet angle, just quite didn't hit it. That's the problem. Chassis actually comes with the kill on the Siphon. That's Bob XD dropping Nico. None of these shots are actually going the side of TSM at the moment. Kind of just faltering here on the pistols. And Johnny Speeds with the plant on the B side. It seems like TSM, they're not even going to challenge this round. The flash armor will be safe for the next one. And this should be a call for Johnny Speeds to try to hunt for the last whatever they're trying to save. Not a bad round at all for Johnny Speeds to make this an 8. And with the rounds being dropped, they're just 4 away from a map point. That's insane to think about after a pistol like this. Shot to the face. Rolf will be enjoying it. Valde will be springing out of that pit. Gets dropped down. That's going to be Altex with the kill on the Bob XD. Saving the armor. Oh no, it's not going to happen. Jazzy just shuts him down with a bullet to the brain. It's done. We will be hopping into more. So, Johnny with 8 on the board. We were talking about the possibilities out of Nuke. After seeing what happened on Mirage, they kind of have to take their enemy's map pick to give us hope for a new day. And just looking at the craziness at the moment. Early utility, a spray down coming out of that AK. Could he get more now? That's just gonna be the triple. Spooky with Rolf will be taking the last players. Nico actually gets a couple of kills there at the end. It's okay. And this is where it gets interesting. Forget the previous rounds. Now that we're gonna see the buy, it's the CT side to start to lock some of these rounds in. And can they? Exactly what we were hoping for. Right now, out of him. Bobby. Left here to spend a bit of time alone. Utility will be used. That's gotta be the smoke. Deeper one. They tried to go for the early banana patch, but this time around, it's gonna be the utility coming out. Oh my god, no, Nico without utility in his hand. Zyphone even gets traded instantly, but it's a double hold towards the B side. This is full of fake. This is all a fake. Johnny speeds them up by walking into a site they have no idea that has 2 players in it. And that is just going to be Valde off the corner to drop one, but they don't know that there's Acor inside that dark. Oh, what a counter-strat coming out of him. Acor steps into the fight, but Draken actually burns down Valde. Shasi comes up with the kill onto Acor. He knows that corner. Altix left alone. TSM throwing one of the best looking strats against that push and getting absolutely wrecked. Altex. Oh, I think he knows it's done. Not even attempting this round is just insanity at this point. What a shutdown from Johnny Speeds, gaining their 10th. And TSM, well, they don't have money. That's a problem. Both of the players trying to get out. Double kill at least. AK being picked up. Kaboom. Well, oh boy. Ten to 5. Johnny. We were thinking about the possibilities of them to actually win their enemy's map pick. At the moment, I really do believe it's possible. Anything is possible at this point. That's gotta be the early damage being done. Trying to keep the numbers alive. Quick rotations. Nice kill from Shasi to drop down Altex. And that's the rest of the lineup kind of defaulting into a hold. Every single player rotated towards that A side, and seems just to be a doubles fake. Johnny's just testing the waters from both of the sides. They did that at the start for Banana, understanding there was a little bit of a stack. Meanwhile, TSM, they will be locking the side in with 4 players, and this is a ridiculous call out of Johnny Speeds if they're not going to push into this side right now. If they take that bomb and just push into that B side, it's fully open. Nobody's holding it. I'm just looking at the players at the moment, mauling Banana. Trying to go for the control now. This should be a 50-50 for Johnny. Either it's going to be a B side stack or an A side play. And using one player to probe it could give them the information. That's Bob XD. Just trying to make noise. This is all a fake. It's definitely going to be an A-side play. Oh god, Johnny. They're walking into a trap right now. Shasi in the first spot of the line. They can still win this as long as they get the kills. Already a little bit of a catch coming out of Zyphon. He doesn't get the kill. Oh, that's a missed shot. But from the side, Nico activates with the ZZ. And oh, they're getting just absolutely wrecked. Acor actually comes out with a kill, but Bob XD, on a fling of that shot, of the corner of that box, hits the headshot, and it's done. Johnny on their 11th. Here we go. I was waiting for Johnny to maybe go for the B-side probe. After that, just rotate that bomb over there. They actually decided to go for the A-side bash. And actually taking care of the full hold. TSM with 1 round to actually show us what they can do. Almost getting caught up in that cross. This is gonna be the full buy, the second one. This is how bad it is to be leaving the rounds with the new amount of rounds that we have, the 5-7. It will be used for long. That's gonna be Rolf to get out of that situation. They did have an upper just closer to that middle a second ago. So A-Core will be giving that angle away. Meanwhile, the rest of the players kind of trying to figure out this push. It seems like Johnny Speeds are focused on that A side just a little bit more right now. Abs push with 4 players. Meanwhile, there's just a 1 player left into the middle, and they know TSM. They don't have the place. They don't have the guts at the moment to go for any information plays. Push coming out. Double kill out of Altix. That's important. But the problem is they do lose a couple of the players. Oh, a nice shot for the backside of that site. And that's going to leave both of the players into a rotation. TSM. 2 versus 2 with that early flash. It could be the Molotov for the pit. To try to gain a little bit more control. Lands on the opposite side. It just quite doesn't stick the right way. Valde from long. He has to do a lot. That's going to be his teammate, Vatniko. Pushing in from the apps. A player underneath the balcony. Just trying to play as much time as he can. That's going to be Draken. Trying to scout out with the op. Misses the first shot. That's a little bit embarrassing, but it doesn't matter. It's the second one. That's going to be Spooky with his own. Johnny, they make it a 12. Map point TSM absolutely getting wrecked on their pick. 5-12. That's going to be a very tough. That's actually going to be one of the worst losses that they have on this map so far. So let me actually figure that one out. Here it is. The previous worst loss on a map like this was against Guns, 13-6. So if they win this round, that's gonna be 13-5. One in between. Valde lost the lights out of Spooks. Oh, look at that. Bob XC is just ready for that to happen. This is just tough. Siphon with Altex left alone. That's what we're looking at the possible last round. Both of the players trying to stack that A side, and this is just going to be a tough one to swallow, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure even what to say here. This has to hurt. Bomb will be pushed towards the B site. Already Altex dropping Rolf, which gives them enough information that either one or both of the players are holding on to that A site. They're still being a little bit careful with the B side push, which is beautiful to see. But reactionary gameplay, and the bomb will be planted. Now it's on TSM to go for the retake. This one is gonna be tough, especially with Zyphon just running inside the smoke. What is happening? Just goes for the full push. Leaves Altex in a 1 versus 3, and I have to say, yes, we're gonna see a third map. It's gonna happen. We're going to be hopping into Nuke for our finals. Guys, it's not done yet after losing their own map pick on Mirage. I have to say, for a second there, it looked like TSM had a very good chance to win this 2-0, but to be honest, Inferno was a bash. Mirage wasn't that far away. That could have been Johnny Speeds catching this 2-0. We're going to be hopping into Nuke. Now, the question is, especially after a bash like that on their own map, can TSM just try to refresh their brains? Can't they just realign everything? Meanwhile, for Johnny Speeds, they're going to feel amazing. Let's see what's about to happen on Nuke. Let's hop into the third map after a little break. We'll see you there. Hello and welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you're having a good time. How you doing? We're going to be hopping into the first round. And off we go. So, it's going to be Nuke. And we're talking about the fact that we might see a third map. And here we are. Now the question is, after the knife rounds, will the side change matter? Oh, Acor's really trying to win this one, but it's not going to work out for him. So, Johnny Speeds are going to win the knife round. They get to change their side to where they want to play. Maybe they're going to choose that CT side. I was actually trying to check out a couple of the stats that they had. A couple of stats to check out what's about to happen in a map called Nuke. Actually had a wrong game open over there, so we're going to get that information right about now. So, it was a tough spot. Oh, I like none. Hey, buddy, how you doing? How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good time. So let me I have a lot of windows open at the moment, so for us to get that information, just give me a second. So, Johnny Speed's going against TSM, and as the third map, looking at map number 2, they got entirely dominated on their own map pick. TSM losing 5-13. Johnny Speed's looking insane out of their CT side, of course, and the T side as well. Meanwhile, here on Nuke, already a push coming out. That's going to be Nico with the first kill on the Bob XD. They get the plant down. And this is going to be a retake coming out of Johnny Speeds after a couple of shots. They might actually start to think about saving some of these armors. 4 of them, to be exact. That's going to be 1 kill out of A-Core. And it seems like the boys, they reset from the last time. And this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. Johnny Speeds, they have a 78% win rate on Nuke with 9 maps. This is one of the least played maps aside of Dust 2, which is the new addition, and Vertigo that they don't play at all. So, 9 maps on Nuke and 9 maps on Dust 2. 78% on both of them. For TSM, 10 maps with 50%. And I'm trying to check out what kind of teams they have gone against. So, TSM have had a little bit of a better CT side, 52%. T side is kind of equal. But the teams that they have won is Enterprise. Enterprise again, 777, Preezy, and Fluffy Gangsters. They did lose the last time they went against Johnny Speeds, 13-11. So it was on a battle round to get that into an overtime. And this is where it usually starts to get... I keep repeating this, but it's interesting because it's about a couple of rounds here and there that they could have actually won the game. So if they have spotted the mistakes on Nuke, fixed them, this could easily be a TSM game. Usually at the same time, Johnny Speeds, they're not just going to falter. Of course, they're going to fix some things at the same time as well. If it's good, you can make it better. TSM, all the way with the first round. That's going to be Johnny on their 4 spy. Getting a bit closer to these corners. They have to check this because the 5-7, well, especially in this league, is being just insane. This is exactly what I'm talking about. A full shutdown coming out. Nico keeping that spray alive. Gaining 1 of the kills. That's going to be a shot to the Molly. Vent Molly. I think he hurt that player, but he's just going to ignore that fight. Leaving it for his teammates. And that's the nade. Meanwhile, Rolf gets damaged. A beautiful nade on top of him. Shot from that scout misses. The second one hits A-Core. Shazi finally activates from the vents. That's gotta be a player into the signal. That's Rolf. Bomb will be planted. Flying for a second here. They are ready for the full swing. Shazi gets back into the vents. A-Core is very low in HP. Has to be careful. And that's gonna be Shazi. Ready. What a catch onto A-Core. That's the second kill already. Nico left in a 1 versus 3. Not a lot of health to play around with. Raken is gonna go for the full swing. Dodges the first bullets. Gets the kill. That's Johnny. Retaking the side with a very bad buy. And this is TSM again, making something very simple. Just a little bit too awkward at this point. It's usually these little setups by the pistols. Especially those 5.7s. Those weapons are insane. No flashes, no nothing. Just walking into that setup. And it's not like we haven't seen that setup before. CTs, they usually like to use those tunnels to their advantage sometimes. Like I keep saying, making it simple could be the way to go. Not bad at all. go. And off to new one. So, early plays being shared between these two teams. It's gonna be the first attempt. Spook spots the player, goes for a couple of shots, but not the end of the world. Just takes this easy. Well, that's gonna be a shot to the face. Siphon, long distance deagle shot. Oh, that hits. Who you got? I'm not entirely sure. I have to say both of the teams 50-50 at the moment, especially as we are on a third map. This is just insane at this point. I just want to see them do well. To be honest, I have no idea. No interest in who wins. As long as it's entertaining. That's the only thing that I'm caring about. So, with a man advantage, but with the worst weaponry, especially no armor. Any of these pushes could be the fall. Acor will be the first one in line to be dropped by Saucy. They do get the one trade. Siphon drops down Drake, but that's the only kill they get so far. Saucy for the 4K could actually make this a 5. I think Valde heard him rotate. And already stepping onto that box. Maybe not ready for Saucy to be that close. Oh, the Glocks finally actually finds a kill. Okay, that's the third kill of the round. That does a little bit damage towards that economy already. So it's getting a little bit expensive at this point. And Valde, equipped with Galil, could do something. Now the question is, does he want to go for the bomb plant? 15 seconds left for that. There was an opportunity to get in for that A-side play. And goes for the plant. That's the fake. Oh, he's playing at the moment. Knows there's a player on the single door. Already another player dropping in front of events. Gets dropped before the time goes down. Valde doing a little bit damage at the end, which is good. Siphon with a double deagle. Keeps the fear alive. Valde didn't go after the time, so he gets to buy without a worry. 4,400. That's pretty much what the whole team has at the moment. And la-di-la. Utility. Smoke's been used outside. Spooky will be trying to extend through them. Siphon could be catching that player outside of warehouse, knowing that somebody already went for the rotation. That's going to be a kill through the smoke. Rolf comes out with one, but gets traded instantly by Nico. That's Spooky. Left by himself to try to navigate throughout this chaos. Valde on the other side of that red. That's going to be Nico with the second kill. Very good for him to start off this round like that. That's going to be Bob XD on the other side of those double doors. Holding down the lower sight. TSM with a decision that they have to go for. A minute left on the clock. They kind of have to think about what do they actually want to do here. The man advantage, a full pop, for example, towards that A side could be the right choice. Nobody's holding it at the moment, but of course they don't have that information. Meanwhile, for Johnny Speeds, any of these choke points are going to be tested. That might be a little bit of a catastrophical turnaround for TSM. This is them getting onto the side, finally gaining the information. Oh, they know. A side, not held by a soul. This is a lot of space for them to plant that bomb. Nico will be the one to plant it through. Altex with lobby control. So, most of the checkpoints being held in. This could be just a chance for Johnny Speeds to maybe think about a save. This is not going to be an easy one, but of course Drake actually comes out with a kill onto Altex. It's a good way to bring it back to a 3 versus 3. This is retakeable right now, especially with the player being dropped from lobby, but the problem is the time. 20 seconds left. There's only a pair of kits. And Johnny Speeds, it seems like they're just going to save the weaponry for the next one. Just reset this round, forget what happened, and focus on the next one. That's the way to go. With a couple of players pushing in from heaven. Wait a minute, they're still going to go for this one. Now they got finally busted. Really? That late? I think they tried to go for the push after the time is up, but that's just going to be a lost weapon. At least Jossie drops both of the players, but he goes down with the bomb. That just gets very expensive for Johnny Speeds. Oh no. A bit of a brain worm right there. This is where it gets expensive. They need to buy up whatever they can. You can see it from the weaponry. That's going to be 2 MP9s, FAMAS, M4, and that op. Barely any money left, except for Drake, and almost no utility. Here we go. Boost idea for a second, maybe to get on top of that box, but it didn't work out. Meanwhile, a full push towards the side. Oh, this is gonna be the right decision out of TSM to change the tempo. They're just gonna play around with it. And this is supposed to be a full save from Johnny Speed right now. 5th round goes for TSM without a contestation. Nice shot out of Bob XD to try to keep on, to hold on to that FAMAS, but now even that weapon gets taken away. And with a very good call. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes to change that tempo, to go for different plays, that's the way you actually get inside that opponent's headspace. Now what gets a little bit frustrating maybe for the defense. You don't really know what's possible, so you don't really have an answer to it sometimes. And Johnny Speeds losing a couple of rounds in a kind of funny way, especially after that 5-7 bash. I'm just looking at their equipment at the moment. This could be just TSM starting around with this half right here, winning this round, taking care of the money. They still don't have that full loss bonus up yet. There's enough to buy for the next one if they reserve it. Nice shot from Drake and to drop down Siphon at the start, showing a little bit too much head there. Meanwhile, Altex from the Squeaky just ready. Notice there's a player on top of the hut there. An easy kill for him. And maybe even hurt the second one. A couple of the players that like to drill these holes. Oh god, that's going to be Rolf to drop down Altex. Altex going a little bit too much solo, just giving a weapon. This Johnny Speed's defense is starting to look a lot better. Look at this, that's 3 weapons on them already. The real push is coming on towards that B site, but already a rotation coming out. Off we go. Defense for the first, the second. Valde keeps this chope alive. Even gets the third one. That's a triple for the man, but from the controller room. I'm not sure if Rolf knows exactly where the last player is. Behind the silo, he's just gonna go for the full defuse, but that's gonna be 10 seconds left. And oh, that's a long time, and already being caught off. Acorn makes it happen only if he had a kit, but the problem is they didn't have the money for it. And that's the 4th round for TSM, a 2-round lead. And looking at this round right now, Johnny Speaks, they can go for the buy, but the problem is they kind of have to start winning some of these rounds, or the T side could start to snowball with this Alpha already. There's still a lot to be played for, so it's definitely not over yet, and especially with Johnny Speeds. They have a similar T side, anything is possible. That's gonna be the utility run coming out of Siphon. Oh, he's just stepping into this play here already. Focusing on the push. Spawning one of the players in events. That's a very good 1-to-1 to win. Drops Bob XD at the start without even getting contested. Meanwhile, the rest of the players getting a little bit silent here. This is going to be TSM just holding down the lobby crunch. Anybody who wants to go for the information, especially man down, usually the CTs, they want to find something that works. And usually lobby push could be the best way to go around it. But if TSM hold it, they might actually get another easy kill. If Johnny Speeds aren't ready for the hold. This is Spooky starting to get information. Chauncey already getting dropped. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Trying to find that information. They do get one, but Nico just gets the trade. Rolf drops down Nico from lobby. With a 3 versus 2 with the players locked in towards the ramp. A nade to open it up. Single door. Squeaky giving them a kill. A 3 versus 1, and TSM, oh, have they played this well? That's a little bit of an awkward jump into the vents. Drake and fully blind can't even see what happened. Oh, God. Oh, that's unfortunate. TSM nailing the bomb down. Draken left to save that up for the next round. And this is tough. That was a little bit funny. Well, it is what it is. Shot to the face. The op will be dropped. TSM. Just looking better and better. Just went for a post there. That's a beautiful timing too. Just think about what are the opportunities here. It's gonna be the early utility being spent. Nobody's to hold on top of that hut there. Johnny Speeds, they finally need to start to wake up. Again, the 5-7s are coming up. That's gonna be the 3-man setup for the lower site. The tunnels, ready for any type of swings. That's the flash. A boost on top of red. Zyphon gets the kill on the top XC. That's going to be Spooky with a quick trade. A-core. Oh, he comes out with the trade again. That's just going to be them trying to hold down to the numbers. Altix gets the 1-1, but the Shazi. Quicker on the draw for the next. And equipped with an AK. If he takes care of Nico, this could be a doable round. But oh, this angle is going to be awkward. Already being spotted and knowing there's a player on top of heaven. But look at this, Shazi. Throughout this series, he's been a name to follow. But the problem is Nico is ready for him. The bomb will be planted in about a second. But the problem is they're being cut off from the side by Drake. And finally, the bomb is going down. And Valde has to cross through the smoke in front of that bullet. Valde with a tap to the face. And TSM, they make it a 6th. 4 rounds to play for. Already having the half of the rounds here on the first touch of Nuke. Johnny Slow Speeds. Well, aren't you creative? More is better. Cross. Then M4 could take one of the players. Nico in a no man's land at the moment, just trying to fight off. Zyphon gets one of the kills. That's going to be Spooky to drop down Nico, but Zyphon's still on the hunt. Catches one of the players, brings it back. That aggressive play style at the moment is just giving them so much space. Does he know that there's a player behind May? No. Wasn't ready for that one. That will be Bob XD to bring it back to 2 versus 3, but the problem is they have the lower site. Without any information, not a player close to it. They can go for the full plant. And this will be Shazi winning the fight against Altex. Needed kill. Walde in front of the double doors. Ready. Both of the players to swing out. That's going to be a 3-man push. From the dark, it's a lot of space. That Molotov, oh, it's going to lock him down into a worst spot ever. Doesn't even win the 1-to-1. He should have known that they're going to go for the peek over there. But sometimes you just have to go for a play. TSM. They will be defaulting around.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
And off we go. So, is it possible for Johnny to bring it back to a 6? It's a very good number. Or to be honest, just to get a couple of rounds here. Make it look formidable. The problem is the last time we saw a 5-7, that was a 13-5 victory for Johnny, destroying TSM on their own mapping. Inferno just looking like child's play. Wasn't even funny. I have to say, both of the teams surprising me in a way today. TSM after that loss just looking like a very different team here on Nuke. Shazi with the first kill. That's going to be Siphon to get the trade. Left in a single man setup. That's a little bit questionable from Johnny Speeds. Maybe trusting a little bit on that individual skill too much. From the single door, it's gonna be Spooky to try to hold down the line. That's gonna be Drake and... sorry, that's Bob XD from Controller. Ready for the full swing out of that AK. Could be traded instantly. 50 seconds left on the clock. Drake drops down Balde. So a man advantage turns into Johnny. That's gonna be a catch out of Bob. Very quick on that trade, but... Acor keeps it alive. This is still doable, especially with the players rotating towards that A side. They just need to open that one kill, especially with Rolf. He's holding the ladders at the moment. Nico has to be ready for this. He's not. Weaponry will be spent. That's going to be the pop flash. Fading out the push. Wins the fight against Rolf. Knows that there's another player. Gets a little bit damage done on towards the squeaky door. That's going to be the molly. I think that was a nade. An A1 too. Drake left to spend a couple of seconds to wait for his teammate to pop into the side. This could be the kill. Acor does almost a little bit more damage. Knows exactly the corner, but there's a push coming behind him already in heaven. Slowly and slowly, Spooky getting into a better spot, and he's not going to be turning around. Acor, at the worst possible timing, goes for the 180, gets the headshot, makes it a 1 versus 1. Drake left in an impossible situation with the time, just spending down. No kits, it's done. There is a set of skits on the floor, but the problem is there's no time. Oh, is Acor playing this round well, boys? Holy shit. What a turnaround. A tap to the face. Plays the time so well on TSM. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. Johnny Speeds. I'm not entirely who gave out the information. Was that a sound cue? Whatever that was. Acor turning at the worst possible timing for Spooky. 180, a tap to the face, making that 1 versus 1. You know Drake has been pushed into a very bad situation. I'm not entirely sure what to call that, but this is just going to be a full A-side bash this time around. It doesn't matter how much you have onto the side, even if you get a team kill. Spooky gets to 1-to-1 trade. Both of the players still holding in from the single door. That's going to be Altex to try to figure it out. Gets a little bit damaged. Damage plays for Johnny Speeds. TSM on their 7th round. Could they make this an 8? Bomb already. Planted onto the ground. B side on their control. That's going to be Shazi trying to get through that smoke. From Ram to get a little bit more control. Spooky from the backside gets the kill onto Altex. The start from the last round. Acor still alive. He's going to be the first one in line to go against this 1-on-1. Wins it. Another player from the ramp, and look at the play. Oh, Draken has no idea what's happening at the moment. It's being converted into a 1 versus 2. And Johnny Speeds will be giving the 8th round for TSM to fight on for the last one. TSM, are they looking insane at the moment? Jesus Christ. We've been seeing some very crazy rounds so far. And for some people to call this boring, I'm not sure if you're escaped from a mental facility, because this is one of the best games that I've been casting in a while. More of this, please. And I still have to say, this is Division 2. You wouldn't believe it. This is just insane. Full push coming out. That's going to be Rolf to drop the first line of that attack. It's traded instantly. Valde with a kill, but behind the smoke pod, he could do a lot of damage. That's going to be 1 kill on the Valde. Behind the CT vents, he spots a player, gives that information away. Looking at the positioning. His rifles. Left in a bit of a no man's land. A long spray coming out of him. Again, Bob XD. That's himself to be taken care of. That's going to be Nico off the cross. They're playing this team play so well, even with a man advantage. They're still actually limping on this round. And they just have to keep it up. The bomb should be planted in about a second. Draken with Shazi, both from the same angle. This time around, it's going to be a double push. Last time, a player wasn't enough. A push through the smoke. Acor and Altex, they're going to shut it down. 9 on the board. TSM, they have no excuses if they lose this now. One of the best looking sides that we have seen on in Nuke, especially against Johnny Speeds at this point. Just a couple of rounds being given for Johnny Speeds. And some of these rifle plays have been on point. So for TSM to somehow give this lead away, no excuses. That's a lot of work from Johnny to try to bring this back. Of course it's doable. You need to win the pistol. It's going to be one of the most important rounds here. The problem is if TSM win the pistol, that's going to be 10 on the board. After that, save or a force, 11. And if they decided to go for a force and lose that round, that could be map point already for Team Solo Mid. Meanwhile, Johnny Speeds seasoned, so I don't think we're going to see any pressure out of them, but they know how dire the situation at the moment is. JT is not playing in this game. And off we go. That's Valde behind the silos. Always ready for the swing. That's got to be the full bash of Valde taking the first line. A couple of the players being dropped. Meanwhile, a full push from the CT side of the vents. That's got to be Bob XD with a kill. Actually makes that a 2. That's going to be Nico with 1 to keep the numbers stable. So, players popped into the vents. They know it's going to be the lower side play. And the bomb will be planted. Now the question is, how do they want to play this? Especially with the vent hold. Wait a minute, that's Draken taking a lot of damage from the cross. Typhoon takes care of one of the players. Johnny Speeds with the best looking round in a while. And of course, that's going to be a 10-second defuse behind the silo. Oh, you're not going to see the light of that day. A shot to the body. Nico shuts it down. TSM with 10 on the board. Johnny Speeds. They tried their best, opening that side, doing a lot of work. The problem is the vent hole just didn't work out. JS looking in, well, incapable of actually winning that pistol round. Meanwhile, TSM, they had a plan for everything. Not entirely sure what to say. That was a very good start from Bob XD as well. Getting a couple of kills to try to swing the numbers back, especially after the dual bash shot of Valde. Eye flash and the smoke being used outside. And the smoke just waiting for the silo play. Oh, just Nico. This boy is just ready for everything. On the CT side, I've actually said this before, even in the finished cast, that back in the days, Nico, on the CT side, he's one of the best defensive players that you have. Even on tier 1, something to focus on. Valde. It's the first kill. That's going to be Spooky with a quick trade. 3 versus 4. Nico on a couple of HP, so 2 HP. He can still do something depending on the angle. Zyphon. That's the long control. That's going to be Altex to sacrifice himself. Maybe at the wrong timing, going a little bit too aggressive. I just lost my rent. Oh, that made me smile. Sorry, but... Yeah, not sorry. Zyphon makes it a one-man advantage. Back from the silo. It's going to be Acor to go down, up, ready for Rolf. And his shenanigans. This could be around for Johnny Speeds. The Force, seeming to give them just a bit of a chance. Now Nico is on a lurk. Have to be ready for that main play, which is about to happen in about a second. Molly being used on the side. Zyphon doesn't have a lot of HP to play around with. So Rolf has a very good angle here, especially with his teammate. At least they're supposed to get that one kill. Drake will be shutting down the second push. And that's a long road for a comeback. 6 rounds in a row for Johnny Speeds to make this a tie, but they got their first. Now the only thing they have to do is just keep this up for 6 rounds. Of course, it's not going to be fully against rifles. There's going to be some mixed save rounds in it. Of course, when that loss bonus gets boosted, that's going to be a different story at that point. But it is what it is. Looking at the round right here. Ah, it's going to be the stack. Okay. So, welcome outside. Anybody who wants to go for the swing. The USPs might laser a couple of shots here. High flash outside. Push coming out. And that's the USPs getting a little bit damaged, but the problem is it works out better for JS. Look at that. Almost a team ace. Making it look very easy. And here we go. It's a good time to ask another temperature check here from the chat. Do we have any fans, real fans for Johnny Speeds? Anybody defending the likes of TSM? TSM looking very good on this season. Meanwhile, Johnny Speeds, they have had a very good... well, yeah, for a full season, they've been looking great as well. On a long last portion, they've been looking a little bit better. Talking about TSM right now. People bleeding in the chat for them to win. I do understand it. Nice to see it. Setting up that A-side play. TSM just still going for the full save here to go for the full buy on the next one. So that's going to be ops and everything coming out. Here we go. USPs. My boy. Standard round. That's gonna be the kit and the smoke. Do they want to go for it? This might be actually TSM trying. That's the nade. Oh, that's not gonna feel good. A flash too. Jumping outside. That's Zyphon with a kill. They still have the flash and the smoke and a kit, but the problem is I don't think they're even gonna get close to the site. No, it's not gonna happen. But wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it's on the other side. Yeah, it's not gonna happen for Zyphon. It's done. They had the right idea, but it just didn't work out. It's okay. For JS, getting their 6th round, starting to look a little bit better. This is where it gets. Tilted. Couple of shots through the smoke. It's just volley test in the waters. Looking at the money at the moment, it's the ops, double op setups coming out. Zyphon will be rocking the second op here. Spookcake getting through the line, not actually spawning behind the red, but finally he swings back. That's gonna be Nico taken care of. A good kill for him. And a lot of space. Meanwhile, look at the play coming out of all the inside of the squeaky. Nobody's looking at this. That's going to be the first kill. Gets away with murder. Nobody else is even going to be close to get that trade. What a play out of the Dane. And for Zyphon just to turn around and get that kill on the Spook. At the full swing coming out of the B. Sorry, the ramp, it's not gonna work out. Goes for the second one, third one. Oh god, misses the shot, still attempting. It's gonna be Hakor to go for the second one in line. Traken. I'm not entirely sure what the chaos was, but Zyphon definitely did his work, and that will be Valdez M4 to shut it down. 3 players safe for the next one. They're not gonna grab that last weapon, but it doesn't matter. The money is gonna play for TSM. Zyphon. Oh, did he make that hard? A triple kill. Valde with a great play through the squeaky smoke. The perfect turner, I have to say. That was a beautiful timing. Just understanding that outside was open for that long. For him to just be ready. There was a little bit of a problem. I have to say, on JS's side, there is a way that you can just hold off from that push. Make Zyphon rotate. Push in with a double push at the same time from the ramp. And just try to time that a little bit better. From the T side, that was way too sloppy. There was a lot of time in between the shots for Zyphon to go for those kills. That will be a round, especially after winning 3 in a row. For them to win this round could have been huge for Johnny Speeds. That could have been a comeback right there. But the problem is, the sloppiness of that round just gives a beautiful opportunity for TSM. Oh, God. That's the first entry. Mad advantage. Full swing in front of Nico. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. That's going to be the molly to try to push him out. Hakor gets a kill onto Shazi. Nico burns like a star he is. Hakor from the second side of that smoke goes for the second swing. Oh, Hakor, he's giving us a game at the moment. Gets traced through that smoke. And that's a 1-to-1 trade. 2 versus 2. Chaotic start. Still on the table for anyone to make this happen. Altex. Zyphon. Oh, he's ready on that corner. That's going to be the second swing as well. But a trade. Bob XD has been dinked. 1 versus 1 Altex with 4 kills on this whole map. He could clutch one of the best looking rounds in a while. Is he ready for Bob XD to push from the ladders? Getting down, spawning Altex. Oh no, this could be the way to go. Altex actually gets away from that situation at the perfect timing. Bob XD doesn't make a sound. Bob XD has missed the timing. Doesn't know where Altex is playing from, but he is behind him. Altex is just ready. Turned around. This could be the worst possible way. Bob XD clutches it with a quad. Altex, confused as ever. Oh no. Johnny Speeds, they bring it to a 7. That could have been the round for him to just shut it down. TSM. Altex getting bamboozled. Having a little bit of a rough time here. Meanwhile, the whole team just looking great. Hakor, Valdez, Zyphon, Nico, everybody contributing. So as long as Altex, even if he's having a little bit of a quieter game, it doesn't really matter that much. 11 on the board. It's going to be 4 rounds of lead, of course. Right now, we're going to see a save. Just 157 and a Pichu 50 here. On the table. That's the smoke for them to start to push in. Spooky. Catches one of the players, a tap to the face. Valde receives the graveyard. Bye-bye, bug. Here we're gonna go for the second one. That's the molly. In between warehouse and a box. Good kill on the side of that smoke, knowing how they like to play across those smokes. TSM. Losing members left and right, but this time around it doesn't really matter that much. They're focusing on the next round. That's where it gets interesting, especially with the save that they have. Good catch out at Zyphon. Actually drops one of the players. Drops down towards the double doors. Notice that one of the players is trying to hunt him down. Rolf gets the kill on the Zyphon. I have to say, some good movement coming out of both of the players, knowing the situation well. That's Hakor with the 570 who could grab a weapon. Spots one of the players. Wasn't ready for that angle. 8 on the board for Johnny Speeds. 3 rounds away. And this is them getting a little bit closer. TSM, pressure could start to amount right now. For one of the teams to win the finals and make this happen. Grab the title. That's Johnny Speeds. on a full buy. Just looking at TSM at the moment. A similar situation for A-Core. And for the rest of the team, no head armor needed. Forget the helmet. This isn't Tarkov. Well, to be honest, on Tarkov, it doesn't really matter that much too. Head eyes every time. 4 players with utility. This time around, Spooky will be taking care of that backside of the main. Holding down the smoke if anybody wants to go for the quick play here. Or the late play. And this is the intelligent play. Johnny Speeds slowing down the tempo just a bit. This is the team just setting up those smokes again. Need to pop off this one. Double spray for Xiphon. What a beautiful angle. Both of the players just stacking up. That need to open up the smokes too. Xiphon. One of the favorite players so far throughout this tournament. I have to say, I've been so happy to see him play. And for the levels, the get just risen up every time. It's got to be the utility being used on top of the hut. Flash underneath it as well. That's got to be Altix from heaven. The only thing he has to do is get that 1-to-1. Maybe even stay alive after that trade to give his teammates just a bit more time to go for that retake. That's going to be the pop flash, okay? They're just going to go for the full swing. It's coming out right now. That's the first one to fake out the push. The second one comes out after it. And a drop flash for his teammate. A nade to open up the smoke. That's going to be the flash coming out. What a beautiful catch out of Xiphon. That's the 3rd kill of this round. Behind the silo. Shasi tries to go for the plant. That's the kill. And the Rolf coming out with the second one. They know that both of the players are behind the silo. If he goes for the full swing, that's A-Core hitting his shot. And trying to even catch one of the players through that little wood there. But it's not going to work out. Nico swings into the action at the perfect timing. TSM locking in their 12th. Almost that off shot hitting through that metal. That wasn't that far off.
Counter-terrorists win.
A nutty situation. A possible last round on the board. And this could hit the core. 22 to Xiphon. Look at that, ADR 111. That's a kill per round. A little bit more. There's a lot of rounds. There's the 22nd so far. Utility will be used across the map. Now will be the smoke to cover up the outside push. Even the smoke for the windows. And Spooky will be using that timing to get through that smoke. Valde, he spots the player. I'm not entirely sure what happened. He had the timing on him. Didn't react. That's going to be Nico, pushed away from. But a beautiful angle. Spooky gets the kill. That's going to be A-Core at least with the trade. Altix comes out with his own. Another swing. An attempt through the smoke. Doesn't quite hit the timing. That's going to be Spooky getting into the warehouse. And a drop onto the side. So they know outside control has been lost. So TSM, the only thing you have to do is do the same to Johnny Speeds. Take huts and lobby. This is yin and yang. Filling the cup with water every time it moves. We're getting a little bit too dramatic here. 45 seconds. Last potential round. Johnny Speeds 8 on the board. They need 4 to bring it to an overtime. Meanwhile, TSM, this could be the one to lock it down. With 35 seconds left. Well, the push is getting a little bit closer towards that hell. Spooky is the first one in line to try to seep in. To do some damage. Meanwhile, Zazie with Rolf from main. They will be trying to get that control for the A side. Meanwhile, the question is how many players are they going to miss from the cross. That's going to be Altix with the 1-to-1 trade. Rolf comes out with his own quickly. But it's got to be the op shot to hit. That's going to be Spooky to bring it back to a 1 versus 1. That nade is going to be beautiful. Does a little bit damage. Xiphon gets away from the vents. And Spooky, he needs the quad to shut it down. And that's exactly what he's going to get. Johnny, they keep it up. 9 on the board. That gets very close to comfort. But I have to say, Spooky keeping his head cold to keep this round alive. Oh, it gets close. Oh, boy. Here we go. Here we go, TSM. Not equipped with a single dime for this round. Not a single utility, nothing. Just USBs. It's gotta be the 45 with a silencer. And a hope for a full push towards the lower side. And this seems to be exactly where Johnny Speeds are heading into. If they're not careful with the controller room, this could be a picked up weapon, maybe a couple of them. Depending what kind of utility they're going to be using. There's barely any there's not a single molly on Johnny's side, so they can't really go for the information peak. And this is Bob XD just walking into that corner as the first player. Everybody else is just going against him. That's gonna be the first kill. Drake's coming out. Altex A-Core. Oh, this is just going tits up at the moment, but Drake, he keeps it alive, gets that one, the second, and Shazzy, the last two for a little second there. A heartbeat was found. 10 on the board. And we are hitting double digits. Very close to every single round on the regulation. Actually one away. TSM with 2 rounds to lock this down. Now the question is, can they keep it up? Especially if we go to overtime. Could this be Johnny Speeds after this amount of momentum? 9 rounds to bring it to an overtime. Already on the 10th. So 7th. That's gonna be a boost. Looking at the round at the moment. Outside play very close. That's a beautiful nade. Spooky takes a little bit of damage. That's the way to open it up. And through that smoke, a lot of damage being done. That's gonna be the double up setup coming out again. The last time TSM victorious with it. A full sneak through that smoke. Look at the timing out of Nico. Oh, he's just gonna execute Drake and even Spooky low on HP. They should know that there's a player through warehouse already, and he's just gonna scale up in this one. The information has been given. Acor turns around to drop down Spook. This is exactly how a team is supposed to work. Johnny, 2-man down, left in a ridiculous spot, especially noticing that Altex used a little bit of utility behind that side. They could go for the A-side bash. Especially from the vents. That's a CT vent being held by Valde, but they're gonna go for the lower side play. Just leaving one to hold down the rotations from a site. Altex has to be a little bit careful if he goes for a swing. That's gonna be Rolf in the default spot. This could be a kill for him too. Oh, he's ready for this one. Goes for the first swing. Gets the shot onto him. The bomb gets the planet, but this is going to be a full 5 retake. With barely any damage being taken so far. Zyphon with a shot to the back off the head. Actually, not the head. Shot to the back. And Shazi inside the squeaky, already being locked down. This is almost impossible. A 1 versus 5. He needs to get an ace to make this happen. Already on top of the bomb. I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna call it, it's done. TSM, they take European Pro League Division 2. And I have to say, with these teams, I'm still not believing that this is Division 2. But TSM, congratulations. After a fight like that, looking so good on the server. And losing Mirage in that form, I have to say, I was a little bit afraid. A little bit afraid that that's going to be the game for them. But no, they just spun it on that little break. Looking very good after hopping into Nuke and just making that happen. I have to say, 2-1 for TSM. The last time they went against Johnny Speed, they did lose their respectable game. This time around, not only are they going to lose, are they going to win, they're going to look very good while they're doing it. And I have to say, congratulations for the Danish squad. Looking amazing on the server. For Johnny Speeds, a very nice try. Almost coming back. But of course, on the round before, the last round of every single round of the first regulation, they just went down. And it was the outside push coming out of Nico to work out at the perfect time. I have to say, that was a beautiful work from the boys. And at the moment, you can actually see myself on the screen pointing at myself. I love it. So, Congratulations, TSMs. Hopefully we can actually see the graphics for the whole playoffs to see the story behind every single play so far. Let's see if our production is awake at the moment. Can we get the teams, every team? And I have to say, that was a banger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, because I enjoyed casting it. We will be starting off with a new season ASAP, so I think it's Division 1 starting again. So try to actually take a hold of our X, so Twitter, whatever you know about it. So it's going to be EPLCS, and you can actually find some of the teams that's been invited already. That's a lot of information, but yeah. Thank you for the cast. It seems like we're not going to get that graphic this time around. A 2-1 victory for TSM, looking very excellent on the server so far. Johnny Speed's coming up with a very good map as well. Almost even making it a 2-0, but it just wasn't enough for this time around. My name was Donut. I was your caster and your host. Hopefully you had a good one. See you in the future on Division 1. And bye-bye.